The Warriors are elite once again. The Warriors put on a clinic, and the numbers prove it. Steph Curry was unstoppable, dropping 28 points while pulling down 7 rebounds and dishing out 9 assists. He didn't get a block, but he grabbed 2 steals, making sure the Knicks never got comfortable when he was on the floor. His impact stretched beyond just scoring. He controlled the tempo, set up his teammates, and made sure Golden State never lost momentum. Brandon Pods had one of his best games yet, putting up 19 points while adding 5 rebounds and 4 assists. He played with so much confidence, attacking the rim, knocking down shots, and keeping the ball moving. His ability to rebound as a guard gave Golden State extra possession, and he kept making smart plays every time he touched the ball. Draymond Green did exactly what he always does, everything. He nearly put up a triple-double with 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. He didn't need to block any shots, but he grabbed 2 steals and made his presence felt on the defensive end all night. His ability to control the game without scoring a ton is something only a few players in the league can do. Jimmy Butler has been a perfect addition to this team. He poured in 19 points while grabbing 4 rebounds and handing out 4 assists. He gave them another steady scoring option, knocked down timely shots, and kept the offense flowing when Curry sat. He played with patience, attacked mismatches, and made smart reads all night. Moses Moody chipped in 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, while also coming away with a steal. He played his role perfectly, hitting shots when needed, and providing solid minutes on both ends. Buddy Hield gave them a huge spark off the bench. He dropped 15 points and grabbed 6 rebounds, giving them energy and shooting when they needed it. He didn't record an assist, but he made up for it with a block, proving he's more than just a shooter. His ability to space the floor opened up so many driving lanes, and his rebounding effort helped them control the glass. Santos also gave them valuable minutes, putting up 9 points, a rebound, and 2 assists, while also adding a block and a steal. He played with high energy, ran the floor, and made winning plays every time he was on the court. Looney didn't have a big scoring night with just 2 points, but he did his job on the boards, pulling down 4 rebounds while protecting the paint with 2 huge blocks. He didn't need to score a bunch to impact the game. His presence alone made a difference. His rebounding helped the Warriors control the pace, and his interior defense forced the Knicks into tough shots. Golden State is locked into the 6th seed in the Western Conference, and they're looking better every single game. Since Jimmy Butler arrived, they've won 9 of their last 10 games. They completely shut down Jalen Brunson in the second half, making sure he never found a rhythm. And Josh Hart, he was a non-factor the entire game. The Warriors' defense was smothering, taking away every easy look and forcing the Knicks into bad shots all night. Everything about this performance showed why Golden State is hitting their stride at the right time. Their offense was efficient, their rebounding was strong, and their defense set the tone. They're not just winning games, they're making a statement. But when I look at the way the Warriors have been playing recently, there's a few things I notice on why they're playing so great. And the first is Curry's reemergence. Steph Curry has been absolutely unreal lately, and the numbers prove it. Just the other night, he dropped 56 points against the Magic on insane efficiency. He hit 16 of 25 shots from the field and drilled 12 threes. That's the 3rd time in his career he's made 12 or more threes in a game. The way he's scoring right now is just ridiculous. And get this, Curry tied Jamal Crawford for the most made backcourt shots in the play-by-play era. He's hitting shots that most players wouldn't even think about taking. And when you compare his 56-point performance to other historic scoring nights, it gets even crazier. He only took 25 shots to do it, which puts him in an elite group, the only players to score 55 or more points on 25 shots or fewer. James Harden did it twice, Michael Jordan did it once, and now Curry just joined that list. That's legendary company. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Steffi, he's not just having 1 or 2 great games. He's been on fire for a while. In February, he averaged over 30 points per game, with 5 assists and more than 5 made threes per night. He's doing it all while shooting 46% from the field, 38% from deep, and 92% from the free throw line. That level of scoring and efficiency is unheard of, especially for someone his age. In fact, he just became the oldest guard in NBA history to average 30 or more points for an entire month. That's not normal. Most players start slowing down by now, but Curry is still putting up numbers that look like prime Steph. He's defying age in every possible way, and he's not stopping there. He now holds the record for the most 50-point games by any player after turning 35. He's done it 3 times, while LeBron James is the only other player with 2. That's it. Nobody else has been able to score like this at this stage of their career, but the records don't stop there. He's also the oldest player in NBA history to record multiple 20-point quarters in a single season. That just proves how unstoppable he still is. Most players in their mid-30s don't even have that kind of scoring explosion in an entire game, but Curry's doing it in just 12 minutes. And when it comes to scoring efficiency, nobody even comes close. He now has 5 career games where he's dropped 50 or more points while shooting at least 85% true shooting. Nobody else in NBA history has more than 2. That means when he gets hot, he's reaching levels that no one else has ever seen. And when he steps into Madison Square Garden, forget about it. He owns that place. He's won his last 11 games at MSG, and his career numbers against the Knicks are ridiculous. He's averaging 26 points, nearly 6 rebounds, over 5 threes a game, and shooting almost 50% from deep in that building. His record there, 12 wins and only 1 loss. The Knicks simply can't stop him. And when you look at what he's done since the All-Star break, it's clear he's still one of the best scorers in the game. He's second in total points since the break, and his numbers continue to be unreal. He's scoring more than 95% of the league, while shooting better than 70% of players. That combination of volume and efficiency is something only the absolute best can do. His shooting splits are ridiculous. He's got an effective field goal percentage of 56.8%, which takes into account the extra value of threes. That's an absurd number for someone taking this many shots per game, and he's scoring more than 1.1 points per field goal attempt. That's elite efficiency that barely anyone in history can match. And look at how he's doing it. He's making nearly 4 two-pointers per game, hitting more than 4 threes per game, and doing it all while taking just 18 total shots a night. That level of efficiency at this volume, almost unheard of. He's scoring more efficiently than 79% of players in the league while taking more shots than almost all of them. And then there's his true shooting percentage, which sits at 60.8%. That's a number that very few players in history have ever hit while scoring this much. True shooting accounts for all types of shots, field goals, threes, and free throws. And Curry is putting up elite efficiency across the board. And here's where it gets even crazier. He's getting these numbers without relying on free throws. He's taking fewer than 4 free throws per game, which means he's not padding his stats with easy points. He's getting his buckets through pure shot making, and that makes his numbers even more impressive. Most players who score like this are either attacking the rim, living at the free throw line, or taking an insane number of shots. But Curry, he's doing it differently. He's not forcing anything. He's not depending on the refs, and he's still putting up numbers that very few players have ever touched. And let's talk about what this means in the big picture. He's playing in a league that's more athletic, faster, and filled with better defenders than ever before, and he's still dominating. Every team builds their entire game plan around stopping him, and yet he keeps putting up these numbers like it's nothing. His effective field goal percentage of 56.8% is wild when you consider the shots he's taking. He's not getting wide open layups. He's not just standing in the corner and catching open threes. He's taking the toughest shots in basketball, off the dribble, deep threes, contested jumpers, and he's still shooting better than almost everyone. And then there's his true shooting percentage, which is even more ridiculous. 60.8% is the kind of number you see from big men who only take dunks and layup. But Curry is doing it while living on the perimeter, taking difficult jumpers, and stretching the floor in ways nobody else ever has. And if you thought that was crazy, check this out. He's the only player in history with 5 games of 50 or more points while shooting at least 85% true shooting. Nobody else even has 3. That's how rare this level of efficiency is. And the biggest part of all this, he's doing it at 36 years old. Most players at this age are starting to slow down, but Curry is still outplaying nearly everyone. His ability to sustain this level of scoring, efficiency, and impact this late in his career is something we've never seen before. So when people talk about his legacy, these are the numbers that tell the real story. He's not just one of the best scorers ever. He's one of the most efficient scorers in history. And he's doing it at an age when most players are already on the decline. 56-point game, 12 made threes, 3 50-point games after 35. Oldest player to average 30 in a month, 5 career games of 50+ on 85% true shooting. The most dominant shooter the league has ever seen, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. But after that, the second thing I want to talk about is how much Jimmy has changed everything. Jimmy Butler has completely changed everything since joining the Warriors, and the numbers back it up. Golden State has won 9 of their last 10 games since he arrived, and it's not a coincidence. His presence alone has turned this team into a serious problem for the rest of the league. And when you break down his impact, it's even crazier. The Warriors have an offensive rating of 118.9 when he's on the floor. That means they're scoring at an elite level with him running the show. And on the other end, their defensive rating is sitting at 112.5. That balance is what makes this team so dangerous now. When Butler is playing, they're not just winning, They're outscoring opponents by 6.4 points per 100 possessions. That's a massive swing that proves just how much he's elevated this team. And check this out, he ranks higher than 78% of players in mixed teamwork metrics. That means his ability to impact winning goes beyond just stats. When he's on the court, everything just works better. The offense flows smoother, the defense locks in, and the entire team just plays at a higher level. But the real proof, his plus minus. He's finished with a positive plus minus in 58.8% of his games with Golden State. That means more often than not, when he's playing, the Warriors are winning those minutes. And when he's not on the court, the difference is noticeable. His on-off impact is plus 1.7, which ranks higher than 93% of players in the league. That means when Butler is out there, the Warriors are nearly 2 points per 100 possessions better than when he's off. That's a major difference that proves how much he's lifting this team. And his ball handling has been elite too. He ranks higher than 93% of players in ball handling metrics, which just shows how much control he has over the game. Whether he's initiating the offense, breaking down defenses, or creating for others, he's making sure everything runs smoothly. And speaking of creating for others, his assist numbers have been incredible. Butler is averaging 5 assists per game while only turning the ball over 1.2 times. That's insane efficiency. His assist percentage is sitting at 24.53%. which means when he's on the floor, nearly a quarter of all his team's made shots are coming directly from his passes. That level of playmaking is exactly what this team needed. And when you look at the total points he's generating through his assists, it gets even crazier. He's creating 13 points per game just from his passing alone. That kind of impact is what separates good players from great ones. And then there's his turnover percentage, which is just ridiculous. He's only turning the ball over 6.07% of the time. That means out of every 100 plays he's involved in, whether it's a shot attempt or a turnover, only 6 end in a mistake. That's a level of ball security that ranks higher than 91% of players in the league. He's handling the ball a ton, making plays for his teammates, and still keeping his turnovers to a minimum. That's the kind of control that makes a huge difference in winning games. But let's talk about his scoring. He's taking 13.7 scoring attempts per game and making the most out of them. He's not just putting up empty numbers, he's picking his spots, playing efficiently, and making every shot count. And his usage rate, it's sitting at 21.1%. That means he's involved in just over 1/5 of the Warriors' offensive plays when he's on the floor. That balance of scoring, playmaking, and efficiency is exactly what this team needed to take things to another level. And his impact isn't just on offense. His defensive numbers have been just as impressive. He ranks higher than 75% of players in mixed team defensive metrics. That means when he's on the court, he's not just stopping his man, he's helping the entire team play better defense. And individually, he's still making plays on that end too. He's averaging 1.1 steals per game and adding nearly half a block per game. And his defensive rebounding, he's pulling down 2.9 boards a night, making sure the Warriors are securing stops and getting out in transition. And when you look at the Warriors' overall defensive efficiency when he's on the floor, it's sitting at 112.5. That means they're holding opponents to 112 points per 100 possessions, which is a strong number for a team that plays at their pace. Butler's presence alone has made Golden State tougher to score against, and that's a huge reason why they've been so dominant since he arrived. And it's not just about the stats, it's about how he plays. He's bringing a level of intensity, leadership, and toughness that this team didn't have before. He's not afraid to take on tough assignments, he's always making the right reads. And he's holding everyone accountable. That's the kind of energy that turns a good team into a great one. And the crazy part, he's doing all of this while playing just 61.5 possessions per game. That means he's staying efficient, controlling the game, and maximizing his minutes every time he steps on the floor. His ability to impact the game without needing to dominate possessions is exactly why he's been such a perfect fit for this team. So let's break this all down. The Warriors have gone 9-1 since Butler arrived. Their offensive rating with him is 118.9. Their defensive rating is 112.5, and their net rating is plus 6.4. That means when he's on the floor, the Warriors are outscoring opponents by more than 6 points per 100 possessions. He ranks higher than 78% of players in mixed teamwork metrics, proving his impact goes beyond just the box score. He's had a positive plus minus in 58.8% of his games, and his on-off impact ranks higher than 93% of players in the league. That means when he's out there, Golden State plays at an elite level. His ball handling ranks higher than 93% of players. His assist percentage is in the top 15% of the league, and he's creating 13 points per game just from his passing. And all of this while keeping his turnovers to a ridiculously low 6%. That's the kind of efficiency every team wishes they had. And defensively, he ranks in the top 75% of players in mixed defensive metrics, meaning he's making a difference on that end too. He's adding steals, blocks, and defensive rebounds, all while helping the entire team play better defense. His presence alone has tightened up Golden State's defensive efficiency, making them a much tougher team to play against. And when you add everything together, it's clear. Jimmy Butler has completely changed everything for this team. They were solid before, but now they're a problem. They're playing with more energy, more confidence, and more efficiency on both ends. They're getting better shots, making smarter plays, and locking in defensively. 9-1 record. Elite offensive and defensive numbers. Top-tier playmaking. Ridiculous efficiency. Huge on-off impact. Jimmy Butler has turned the Warriors into a legit threat, and they're only getting better. And besides him, another player who's impressed me a lot recently is Pods. Brandon Pods has been absolutely balling lately, and the numbers back it up. In the Warriors' latest win, he dropped 19 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, and dished out 4 assists while shooting 50% from the field. That kind of efficiency is exactly what he's been bringing to this team, and he's only getting better. Since returning from injury, he's had 9 games with at least 15 points. To put that in perspective, he only had 9 games with 15 or more points throughout all of last season. That's insane growth. He's become a major scoring option, and his confidence has skyrocketed. And over his last 2 games, he's been even better, averaging 19 points per game. And when you look at his overall impact, it just gets crazier. His net rating is plus 6.8, which means when he's on the floor, the Warriors outscore opponents by nearly 7 points per 100 possessions. That's elite. His offensive rating is sitting at 113.6, meaning the team is scoring at a really strong rate when he's playing. But what's even more impressive, his defensive rating is only 106.9. That means when he's on the court, the Warriors are locking teams up, and he ranks higher than 90% of players in mixed teamwork metrics. That means his presence alone is creating a positive margin for his team compared to nearly everyone else in the league. When he's playing, Golden State is simply better, and the numbers prove it. And check this out. He's finished with a positive plus-minus in 56.3% of his games. That means in more than half the games he plays, the Warriors are winning the minutes when he's on the court. And his on-off impact, it's sitting at plus 3.4, meaning the Warriors are 3.5 points per 100 possessions better when he's out there compared to when he's off. That ranks higher than 84% of players in the league. That's a huge impact for a young player still finding his groove. But it's not just about scoring. His ball handling has been elite too. He ranks higher than 84% of players in ball handling metrics, showing just how much control he has over the offense. He's making smart plays, handling pressure, and keeping the Warriors' offense running smoothly. And then there's his playmaking, which has been just as impressive. Pods is averaging 3.5 assists per game, while only turning the ball over 1.1 times. That kind of efficiency is rare for a player still developing as a primary ball handler. His assist percentage is sitting at 19.79%, meaning when he's on the floor, nearly 20% of his team's made field goals are coming directly from his passes. He's setting up teammates, moving the ball, and keeping the offense in rhythm. And when you look at how many points he's creating through his passing, it's even crazier. He's assisting on nearly 9 points per game, proving that he's not just looking for his own shot, he's making sure everyone else gets involved too. And he's doing it all while keeping his turnover percentage ridiculously low. His turnover percentage is only 7.75%, meaning that out of every 100 plays, he finishes, whether it's a shot attempt or a turnover. Only 7 end in a mistake. That's better than 78% of players in the league. He's handling the ball, making plays, and still taking care of possessions. And then there's his defense, which has been just as impressive. He ranks higher than 96% of players in mixed team defensive metrics, meaning he's not just playing solid individual defense, he's making the entire team better on that end. His ability to rotate, contest shots, and disrupt plays has been a huge reason why the Warriors have been so tough to score on lately, and his individual defensive numbers are just as strong. He's averaging 1.1 steals per game adding another layer of disruption to Golden State's defense. He's also blocking nearly half a shot per game, proving that he's making plays even against bigger opponents. In his defensive rebounding, he's pulling down nearly 4 boards a night, making sure the Warriors can close out possessions and get out in transition. And when you look at the Warriors' overall defensive efficiency, when he's playing, it's sitting at 106.9. That means when he's on the floor, the team is holding opponents to an elite level of scoring efficiency. His ability to lock in, stay engaged, and make winning plays on that end is a huge reason why Golden State has been so dominant with him in the lineup. And then there's his role in the offense. His usage rate is at 17.5%, meaning he's involved in a solid portion of the team's offensive possessions without having to dominate the ball. He's taking just over 9 shots per game, getting to the free throw line 1.5 times per game, and dishing out 3.5 assists. That balance is what makes him so valuable. He's not forcing anything. He's playing within the system, and he's making the most of his opportunities. And the craziest part, he's doing all of this while playing just 52.8 possessions per game. That means he's maximizing his minutes, staying efficient, and making an impact every time he steps on the court. He doesn't need a ton of touches to be effective. He just plays smart, makes winning plays, and keeps everything flowing. So let's break all of this down. Since returning from injury, he's had 9 games with at least 15 points, which is already as many as he had all of last season. He's averaging 19 points per game over his last 2, proving that his scoring is trending in the right direction. His offensive rating is 113.6. His defensive rating is 106.9, and his net rating is plus 6.8. That means the Warriors are outscoring opponents by nearly 7 points per 100 possessions when he's playing. He ranks higher than 90% of players in mixed teamwork metrics, meaning his presence alone is making a massive difference in winning games. He's had a positive plus-minus in over half his games, and his on-off impact ranks higher than 84% of the league. That means when he's on the floor, the Warriors play at a much higher level. His ball handling ranks higher than 84% of players. His assist percentage is in the top 25% of the league, and he's creating nearly 9 points per game just from his passing. And all of this while keeping his turnovers at an elite low rate. And defensively, he ranks in the top 96% of players in mixed defensive metrics, meaning he's making a difference on that end too. He's adding steals, blocks, and defensive rebounds, all while helping the entire team play better defense. His presence alone has tightened up Golden State's defensive efficiency, making them a much tougher team to play against. And when you add everything together, it's clear. Brandon Pods has been one of the biggest reasons for the Warriors' recent success. He's scoring more efficiently, making smarter plays, locking in defensively, and elevating the entire team. 9-1 record since his return. Elite offensive and defensive numbers. Top-tier playmaking, ridiculous efficiency, huge on-off impact. Pods has taken his game to another level, and the Warriors are thriving because of it. But lastly, I want to talk about Draymond, because he's been great. Draymond Green has been a game changer all season when he's locked in. His numbers might not explode off the page, but his impact is undeniable. 9 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game only tell part of the story. He's not out there hunting for stats. He's making winning plays every single night. When he's fully engaged, he's one of the smartest, most versatile players in the league, and the advanced stats prove just how important he is. His passing remains elite, ranking 30th in assist percentage. That means he's creating more offense for his teammates than most bigs in the league. His ability to read the floor, make the right pass, and keep the Warriors' offense flowing is something few players can replicate. He doesn't just rack up assists, he delivers the right passes at the right time, setting up his teammates for high percentage shots. Whether it's a quick dish to a cutter, a kick out to an open shooter, or a perfectly timed lob, Draymond's passing continues to be a massive weapon. Rebounding has also been a strong part of his game, ranking 53rd in rebounding percentage. That's impressive, considering he's often battling against bigger players in the paint. He understands angles, boxes out effectively, and hustles for every board. He might not be the tallest or the most athletic, but his positioning and effort allow him to secure key rebounds. When he's fully engaged, he keeps possessions alive on offense and shuts down second chance opportunities on defense. But where he truly dominates is on the defensive end. He's still one of the best defenders in the league, ranking 4th in defensive win shares and 7th in defensive box plus minus. That means when he's on the floor, the Warriors' defense is significantly better. His ability to read plays, switch onto different positions, and protect the rim makes him an invaluable piece of their system. He ranks 20th in block percentage, proving that he's still a strong shot contester despite being undersized for his position. He might not block every shot, but his presence alone alters plenty of attempts. Steal percentage is another area where he thrives, ranking 23rd in the league. That shows just how disruptive he is. He's always lurking in passing lanes, poking the ball away, and forcing turnovers. He's one of the best in the league at anticipating passes and turning defensive stops into offensive opportunity. The Warriors' transition game benefits massively from his ability to generate steals and immediately push the ball up the floor. These numbers highlight why Draymond continues to be such an impactful player. He's doing all of this at 34 years old, which makes it even more impressive. Most players start slowing down at this stage, but he's still making a massive difference every time he steps on the court. His IQ, hustle, and leadership keep him at the top of his game. And when he's locked in, there aren't many players who can match his all-around impact. But for Draymond, the place he mostly dominates is with his on-off numbers. His ability to affect the game in so many ways separates him from the majority of players in the league. The data proves it. He ranks above 95% of players in mixed teamwork rankings, which measures how much a player's presence creates a positive margin for his team. That means when he's on the court, the Warriors are operating at a much higher level than when he's off. It's not just about what he does individually, it's about how he elevates the entire team. His offensive rating sits at 118.1, showing how efficient the Warriors' offense is when he's on the floor. He's not just passing or setting screens, he's ensuring that everything runs smoothly. The ball moves better, the spacing improves, and players get cleaner looks. His ability to make quick reads and deliver the right passes at the right time keeps the offense flowing, and it shows in the numbers. When he's on, the Warriors' offensive efficiency skyrockets. Defensively, his rating is even more impressive. His defensive rating of 111.6 highlights just how effective he is at shutting down opponents. The Warriors give up fewer points when he's out there, and it's not just because of his steals and blocks, it's his communication, rotations, and presence. He keeps everyone in the right position, calls out switches, and makes sure the Warriors are organized on that end. He's not just a good defender, he's one of the best at completely altering how an opposing team attacks. His net rating of plus 6.5 proves just how valuable he is. That number measures the team's point differential when he's on the floor versus when he's off. A positive number means the team is winning those minutes, and his plus 6.5 mark is outstanding. It means that the Warriors consistently outscore their opponents whenever he's playing, which is exactly what you want from an impact player. He's a difference maker, plain and simple. His plus-minus numbers back it up. He's had a positive plus-minus in 63% of games this season, which means that in nearly 2/3 of the games he plays, the Warriors are outscoring their opponents with him on the floor. That's a winning impact. When he plays well, the team wins more often than not. His ability to influence games goes beyond traditional stats, and this number proves that he consistently contributes to winning basketball. And then there's the on-off impact, which is massive. The team's point difference when he's on the court versus when he's off sits at plus 4.5. That means the Warriors are 4.5 points better per 100 possessions with Draymond in the game. That's a huge gap. When he's playing, the team is scoring more, defending better, and controlling the game at a much higher level than when he's on the bench. His presence alone makes them significantly better. These numbers tell the full story of his impact. He's not just putting up decent counting stats, he's actively making the Warriors better every single time he steps on the floor. His offensive efficiency, defensive dominance, and overall influence on the team's performance put him in elite company. His ability to make his team better than 95% of other players in the league is exactly why he's so valuable. He might not be dropping 30 points a night, but his numbers prove he's one of the most impactful players in the entire NBA. When he's locked in, the Warriors are just a different team, and the stats back it up every single night. Draymond Green's impact goes beyond the box score, beyond the highlights, and beyond the numbers. He's the engine that keeps the Warriors running, the glue that holds them together, and the leader who sets the tone on both ends of the floor. When he's engaged, they're a different team, more organized, more aggressive, and simply more dangerous. His passing, defense, and sheer basketball IQ make him one of the most valuable players in the league, even if his contributions don't always show up in flashy stat lines. He's not here to chase numbers, he's here to win. And when he plays like this, the Warriors win a lot more often. Nights like this prove why he's still so important, even after all these years. His energy is contagious, his leadership is undeniable, and his presence changes everything. The Warriors need this version of Draymond Green as much as ever, because when he's locked in, everything just works. And with the season heating up, that could be the difference between being a good team and a great one. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.